Hello, listeners. Welcome to the inaugural show of Raquel and Kelly Sports Talk and Questions. We are really excited to be here, and we're going to give you a little bit of information on who we are, how we got here, and what our plan is for the show. So I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Raquel Lehto, and I am the mom of Max Shillingford. Max is a Superior Heights student who plays football, basketball, and also does track and field.
I am Kelly Middaugh, and I'm a mom to two athletes, one who is still in elementary school, and Will Middaugh, who is in high school at Superior Heights. He plays football, basketball, and track and field as well. Anybody who knows me knows that I know next to nothing about sports, and I'm constantly asking questions and mixing up terminology, and usually have pretty much no clue what's going on. So the premise of this show is naturally me and sums up any amount of time I have spent in the stands.
So if anyone were to listen to Raquel and Kelly in the stands, and I should say, we are at all the games. We are at the football games, we're at the basketball games, we're even at track and field, and we're cheering and we're supporting. But the truth is, we really don't know what's going on. And so if you were to eavesdrop on the two of us in the bleachers, you're going to hear things like, what just happened?
It's with the flag.
Is that a foul?
Are we on offense?
Where's the ball?
Is my kid on the field?
It's true. And then I'll be like, no, your kid plays offense or my plays defense. You're not. Oh my goodness. We do our best, but we really don't know. And so what happened was, we saw on Facebook, on Saultsports and TruHous Media, a call out for radio show ideas about high school sports. Now, we know that we would not be the first that would come to your mind when you think about a radio show with high school sports. But we've talked about this surprisingly a lot, is that we really would like the opportunity to learn more about the sports that our kids play. So, we actually decided to do it. So we came together and we did a demo.
On the iPhone.
Because we don't even have any radio or tech skills either. And so we got out the iPhone, we did a 30-second demo pitching our idea for the show. We came up with a 12-week plan where we would be focusing on different sports, and we submitted it.
And they called us.
And said yes and took a chance. Although we just found out that Jay's wife said, are they really serious? Yes, we really are serious. So we were not headhunted. We took a chance on us. Saultsports and TruHous Media are taking a big chance on us. And here we are, and we're ready to go, and this is our first show. So let's tell you kind of what our plan is. We want to focus on one or two sports per week, and they are sports that the kids are playing in high school. So our first show is today on basketball, but we're going to focus, of course, on football and hockey and cross-country skiing and badminton and curling and wrestling, all kinds of different sports, as well as a few other topics thrown in there just for interest's sake. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk to coaches, and we're going to learn the basics of the game. We are hoping that we're going to walk out with a much better understanding of what our kids are actually doing on the field and on the courts. And so really we're about learning about the game. And then we're going to talk to two different athletes every week from different schools, male and female athletes, and we're going to talk to them about their sport and what they like about it and what they do to judge their progress and so on. So we're really excited to meet all of these great kids. We know that there are hundreds of high school athletes, and we really wish we could talk to all of them, but unfortunately we can't. So we're going to have a great time with the coaches and the athletes that are able to join us. And what we're not doing is we are not focusing on the current high school sports situation. Oh no, I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry about that. So we're not focusing on the high school situation right now because, well, frankly, we don't have enough knowledge to talk about the high school situation right now.
Back to we know nothing.
Back to we know nothing, right? So no, we're not talking about what's going on currently in high school sports. We're looking at the sport as a whole. We're not focusing on one school. We're not focusing on one sport. And the idea is that we're really gonna come together and have a fun time and learn about the sports that our kids play.
Here we are with our first show, and it's basketball. We are excited to welcome our first guests, two coaches from two different schools. We have Coach Hugh Hyam, who I think most kids who've grown up in the basketball scene have met Hugh somewhere along the way. So thank you for joining us.
And then we also have George Shackleton. So George is currently coaching at Superior Heights on the boys team, but has also coached girls teams. So that's a great experience bringing in, and maybe we can talk a little bit about the difference between coaching the boys and the girls.
So did I.
Did you?
Yeah, you totally dissed me there.
Hugh Hyam, I am very sorry.
Yeah. I have a daughter.
Of course you do. You have the lovely Abby.
That's right.
She's a beauty.
She is.
She's a beauty. Hi, Abby. You better be listening.
So Hugh, you can start us off. Let us know your current role in basketball in our community and a little bit about your history.
Well, let's go back. So I played high school basketball, like every other kid pretty much in high school that liked sports. You played every high school sport that was available to you because we didn't have all the things we have today, which club basketball, all those other opportunities. So I did that. I went away to university, didn't play there, finished university and came back to the Sioux, and I was a Cougar. So I played for Sioux College for a couple of years. Yeah. So I continued my basketball career a little later in life. So it was really about just trying to get through another 2 years of a diploma program. But I did that. And then, life goes on and you have kids. And your wife volunteers you for everything. So really, my coaching career started with soccer at 5. And then, as my oldest son got to the point where he was playing high school sports, they needed a coach at White Pines. And so I coached there. So he was doing that. He did that for his 5 years. And then he left and I stayed.
Ooh.
Because my kids are 4 years apart. So I have a boy, girl, boy. And they're all 4 years apart. So I stayed and coached, not my own kids, but just other kids. And in the meantime, in that journey, I started coaching club teams as well. So Steel City Slam, as it's known now, was the club that I coached for. And also, I spent a lot of time at the Y with George coaching YBC basketball. So I've been around for a bit. Currently, I'm coaching at Cora. I'm just an assistant now. I've taken a step back from being a head coach. And, I'm the senior coach there. And, it's good.
That's awesome. I think my son first had you as a coach officially for Slam, but he did YBC as well. But I don't think you coached. Ashley Beharrell coached him at YBC. Yeah. She's a great volunteer at the Y for a long time. But yes, so you were Max's Slam coach back in the day.
Will's as well, yeah.
All right. Okay, so George, tell us a little bit about your basketball experience.
So my path to basketball is similar to Hugh's as far as I got started not in basketball. I got started in soccer with my daughter as well. And then I seen the need for coaches, community coaches in our community, and I ended up volunteering at the Y when my oldest, Gavin, was just starting there. And then I put 3 kids through the YBC of my own. So that was about probably 13-ish years coaching there, and then in between that I got some chance to coach some public school kids as far as my kids again, and then on to high school. I helped coach 2 of my 3 kids. My third may or may not make the basketball team, we'll see. He's got a little bit of work to do, but now I'm currently the head coach at the senior boys, just coming off of the senior girls season as well, so very, very busy.
Excellent.
So you probably both know that Kelly and I are at the games, because you'll hear me yelling and cheering. I'm awfully loud for somebody who really doesn't know what's happening on the court. I'm there to cheer, so we need to learn about the game. So we need you guys to help us out and teach us the basics of basketball. And as I said to Hugh, if you can teach 10-year-olds at the Y to play basketball, you can teach Raquel and Kelly about basketball.
It's a challenge, though.
It will be.
I think it's pretty funny. One of the reasons why I like coaching basketball is because nobody knows the rules.
Well, there we go.
Especially if you change the FIBA stuff, it's never consistent.
It's kind of nice. When people are yelling at you in the stands and you're like, oh, they just don't understand the rules.
Okay, I don't yell at the coaches in the stands because I don't know enough to yell at you. I'm more just questioning what's happening. All right, so whichever one of you would like to begin, but let's learn about basketball.
What would you like to learn?
Let us know how it's changed over time.
Here in the Sioux, we went from what would have been NBA-ish rules, and now we've started playing under the FIBA rules. So
already
you've
lost me.
100%. So there was a learning curve for myself even. Just the nuances of the game have changed a little bit as far as the FIBA rules go. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that would really stand out. Hugh, you know any that stand out?
Well, yeah, there's a few things that have changed really. When you think about when I started, I think I played high school basketball when they first introduced the 3-point line.
Oh, there you go.
So that's a
that
big
might tell my
change.
age. So the 3-point,
Yeah.
that 3-point line changed basketball from what I kind of, knew early, and now it's the biggest part of the game. Everybody's shooting that
Yep.
3-ball. Nobody wants to shoot a Jimmy from the elbow.
What is Jimmy from the elbow?
Jimmy from the elbow. Jenny from the block.
Well, that's why I want to throw some of that stuff out there.
Oh my god.
Jump shot from the elbow.
Wow. Okay.
The elbow
okay.
is,
all right. So I know you put the ball in the basket and you
elbow.
play defense and you have strategies and you
Yeah.
got to get your points. So when one of the big things about basketball are plays. I don't know really a whole what that means, but so when you're coaching. And obviously we all know, yes, you got to put the ball in the basket and you want to defend, right? You don't want the other people to get to the basket. So I know the basics, right? But what are the plays? What are the strategies that you're teaching? And I know plays are a big deal, right? But I don't really know what help. I don't know what it means.
So really what you're talking about is spacing. In high school
Okay.
basketball, I think that's pretty much the biggest fundamental thing that we try and teach them is spacing. And when we talk about plays, we're really talking about actions that happen on the floor. So this person goes here to stop this person from moving past him so the other guy can get open or person can get open.
Okay.
Right? So actions are things that we teach them. I wouldn't call them plays. We just put together a series of actions, right? To get
Okay.
somebody we want to shoot a shot open.
Okay, so the goal of the actions is to make a way. I'm going to use our player as somebody who has a basket, right? To make a way for them to get to the net. So you're helping to block other players so they can get to the net? Or are you talking about more defending so
kind of,
other people
so-
can't get to the net?
To add to Hughes' sort of rationale there, because he's on the right track for sure, it's spacing and then you're looking to create an advantage. And once that advantage is created, you're looking to press that advantage into a basket. So you're looking to continue that momentum or that advantage to create another advantage, which would be an even bigger advantage, which makes it easier to get to the basket or to make that bucket or that basket, right? So you're looking to constantly create advantages through spacing and manipulation of defense if you're on the offensive side.
Okay, so what does it mean to make a play? Like I've heard somebody say, and I'm going to use my son here as an example, and maybe this isn't even right, but I've heard somebody say he has good basketball sense in that he's good at knowing how to make a play on the court. I don't really know what that means, but I'm happy that someone's complimenting my son on the court, of course, but I don't really know what it means. And maybe it's not even the right compliment, but so what does that mean to have that basketball sense to make a play on the court?
So I would think that would lead to his vision on the floor to be able to see if that's an advantage created for himself, and if not, then to be able to create the advantage for his teammate.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other part of this actions, and by the way, blocking is a football term. Setting screens
another week,
in
Raquel.
basketball is what we're talking about. We can talk about those after.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
I mean, when we think about spacing and we're thinking about the actions, we're thinking about what do I do after the action happens? And that's not determined by what the offense is doing. That's determined by the reaction of the defense as a result of those actions that we've just done.
So would a player...
So what they're saying about your
sorry,
son, that's okay. What they're saying about your son is that he can make that read to say that the defender went over the screen or under the screen, which is going to tell you whether if he goes under the screen, you're probably going to shoot the basketball. If he goes over the screen, you're probably going to try and make a layup.
All of that makes sense.
It does actually make sense. This is why we're doing this show. I hope that our listeners have a moment like Kelly and I did that are like, oh,
The aha moment.
The aha moment. This is sort of coming together.
George and I have those every day with 15-year-old boys.
Oh, I can only
They're
imagine.
fleeting though at moments. Some moments they're there, and other moments you can just wonder.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, can you use
Yeah.
the term meathead?
We can
Is that
on
okay
the show.
still? Like, I'm not sure, right?
Absolutely. I
Meathead.
use schmucks a lot.
Yeah,
Like they're
meathead.
just schmucks. I mean,
Let's rotate counterclockwise,
they're
boys.
absolute schmucks.
Do it once, and then how do we do it again?
Oh,
Yeah.
bless.
Which way?
Yes.
Bless their
You can't give them a
teenage
date.
brains. Okay, so So is there anything that, okay, now I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. So you're playing offense at one point, right? Which is where you're trying to get to the basket. So is it better to try and get to under the basket to get the ball in? Or is it better to try and get clear to get a 3-point shot? Because I've even noticed since even in the last year, 2 years, like more and more athletes are trying to get 3-point shots. They're not always successful. They often are, and they're trying. And they're not maybe going under the basket as much. So is there a better approach, or it doesn't matter? It's just however we get the ball in.
I think you're always looking to play to the player's strength. So if I have a really dominant shooter, or he's really good at shooting the ball, but he's maybe not so good at finishing at the rim, well then his shot should be outside of the 3-point line.
Okay.
If he's really good at finishing at the rim, but not a very good 3-point shooter, then clearly I would like to have him inside, trying to dominate inside and make the easy points inside.
What does finishing at the rim mean?
That's just putting the basket in, staying
Okay,
focused.
that's what I thought. I was just checking.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you go there and clank it for an offensive rebound, that's not finishing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right? It's like putting in the baseboard in your living room, but not nailing it.
Okay. We got it. We got it.
Oh, gosh. Going way back to tryouts, because it feels like it was a long time ago now, what are you looking for? Like, what are you looking for in these meatheads?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. Maybe my age dictates my attitude towards effort. And, I think athleticism is the first thing, because you need somebody who's athletic to play basketball. You have to be able to dribble, jump, and run all at the same time. And I think you look for the boys that have an engine. And what I mean by the engine is that they have a compete level that, stands out above the other boys. That's the first thing I look for, is the compete level. Obviously, the basketball skills can all be taught, but you can't teach somebody to work hard all the time when they're out there. So that's the first thing I look for in tryouts, especially because, I noticed in the questions that you sent me that there was a scouting question in there, and it's that we don't actually scout in high school basketball.
Well, we don't know
so
that.
So the tryouts are where we scout.
That's our scouting.
That's our scouting. It's the tryouts.
Used to be the YBC-ish.
The scouting at the
Yeah,
Y.
you may go to the grade 8 tournament or something, but you never know what high school they're going to go to now, right?
100%.
And most kids play football, and
Yeah.
they all go to
100%.
Cora.
Okay. So in terms of looking at the athleticism, sorry, I have that cough that everyone has that won't go away. When you're looking at the athleticism, is there anything in particular for basketball that you're looking for? And then also, is there anything mentally that you're looking for?
I'm looking personally for somebody who, after they take a shot and it doesn't go in, I'm watching that body language to make sure that they don't slouch, they don't hang their head. It's just, I missed one. I don't really care. I, as a coach, don't care if you miss that shot. What matters to me is your demeanor after, because that slowly will bring down a team over time. So I definitely look for that right away in tryouts.
That's really important.
100%.
It is. Hugh?
Yeah, attitude is really big. But I also look for the kids that don't cry after we run them for 20 minutes.
That's always a plus, eh?
They actually finish the repeaters that we run, and they actually try hard to the end. I really value that effort.
Effort is always a good thing.
Resilience is something that I pride in most of the teams that I coach, and I think I look for that in my tryouts. Yeah.
So after you choose your team and you get all the great attitudes and the athletic kids, how do you keep them motivated to keep going? Basketball is a long season, or it feels from a mom perspective that it's a long season.
Feels like eternity.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure once I say this, George is going to go, yep, it's called playing time.
100%. These kids are honestly, they're self-motivated for the most part. You don't make it that far into basketball. You don't get to senior level if you're not self-motivated. You'll wash out before that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay, so is there any truth to this? You have to give as much energy on the bench as you do on the court. And I think I'm looking at that from being a good teammate, right? Not being a solo star.
Are you talking about the kids in this case?
You're the star, we know it. You guys are the stars.
I often remind my boys that empty chairs give as much energy sometimes as we do at moments, and empty chairs are easier to support. They don't cost us anything. So they kind of get the idea pretty quickly that they still need to be invested in giving some of that energy back to the guys that are on the floor, because it would be returned to them when they're on there as well. So again, I don't think you really have to prompt these guys typically. They're pretty good to go.
Yeah, some of them. I think there's a certain level of entitlement that comes with the changing. Like all my kids are 4 years apart, so I kind of watch the big change from generation to generation. And I mean, one of the things I always say is that everything's earned.
Yeah.
And if you start at the end of the bench, you got 4 years to get to the front of the bench, and it's not something that you can just. You don't just get to play. You have to prove that you can play before you play.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the question about being a starter. I feel like this carries a lot of weight to our schmucks.
It's a well-known term.
It's a well-known term. So what does it mean to be a starter? And what's sort of the, I don't want to use the word accolades that come with it, but the esteem, I don't know. But yeah, tell us about that, being a starter, because I think it's a big deal.
Well, it's definitely not that thing in the car.
No.
No. I'm just making sure. Just kidding. I don't know. You guys remember back to high school, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's prestige. It's a little bit of that, but it's it's a pecking order thing. Yeah, but I think ultimately, from a coach's perspective, I know once we get to high school sports, the best 5 are going to play, right? So you can consider yourself one of the best 5 out of those 12, and in your high school, you're one of the best 5 basketball players, at least according to your coach. Right? Maybe somebody else you're not, but to your coach, you're the best 5 we got to put out there, right? So that's what starter means to me.
100%. You're always going to put out your best.
Yeah.
Well, you want to win, right?
100%.
Yeah. That is kind of the team goal, right?
Yeah.
That's the first one that we all try to
That
strive
we know.
for. Yeah.
We know that one. Yeah. And we also hear like, some athletes haven't been showing up to practice. So they're not starting, and then maybe somebody else is who isn't normally a starter.
That does happen, and every once in a while I've been surprised that 6th, 7th man off the bench suddenly looks like they should be a starter, and they probably were all along, and they just didn't have the opportunity, but now they have it because one of their teammates decided to take an easy road. It isn't the way to stay on the floor.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the energy and the effort and the enthusiasm, all of those things matter. They matter no matter what you do.
100%.
Right? But they really do matter in sports. And I know as a parent, because I don't always get the skills that they're showing on the court, sometimes I'm probably looking more at the things I do understand, like energy and enthusiasm and effort. And so I really appreciate it when I get to see it. It's great to see when somebody shines like that.
You always get out what you put in. And I
Absolutely.
think, I honestly believe that, some, like I said, playing time, kids are motivated by that. Mm-hmm. And, you don't have a lot of control over these guys sometimes. But that one there seems to be the key. Yeah. If you feel like you should be playing, well, that you have to execute, right? That was what I was going to say. Execute.
Execute. I feel like we're probably very similar in that. Like it's then prove it to me. Show me why I've been wrong in the past, and you get your minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots and lots. So we have some random questions. I believe we also sent them to you, but we're kind of viewing it as this segment we'd like to call rapid fire.
No.
So.
First thing that comes to my mind?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Well,
PG version.
Yes.
possibly because we won't know if you're right.
We can set the bar really high.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really would like to say that these questions that we have come up with these questions are super specific to basketball, obviously. Yeah. But these are questions that we truly and honestly have, and we don't know the answer to. So this isn't us Googling what are hard questions on basketball.
No Googling.
There's no Googling
This is
here.
real life.
This is legit.
This is legit. Us sitting in the stands going, what is going on?
Anybody who sits around us must just chuckle, honestly.
Well, everyone is in the same boat. That's what's interesting. There's a lot of parents who don't know the ins and outs of the game.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Nobody knows the rules.
Nobody
of
knows
basketball.
the rules.
Nobody.
So we're going to test you guys to see what you know. But as Kelly said, we actually don't know the answer, so you could lie. But we hope you don't. We hope you don't. Okay, Kelly, hit them with the first one.
What's the key on the court?
Free throw to the baseline, basically. It's usually a different color on most courts, but not every court.
Oh, okay. As soon as you said different color, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, so that's the key. Quick question. Is that the same as in the paint?
Yes.
That's why it's a
Very
different
good.
color.
That's why it's colored otherwise. Yes.
Holy smokes, Raquel.
I'm writing that down.
Write down, you only get 3 seconds offensively in the key, though.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, see now already we're into
And
these
both feet
strategies.
have to leave
Correct.
the key.
Okay, so you can only be in there. Now, when you say you can only be in there, do you mean like when you have ball contact or just anyone standing there?
The offensive player can only be in the key for 3 seconds with both feet.
And who's counting that? The ref or the
ref
coach or
is
the
supposed
player?
to.
The
Yeah,
ref
the
is.
ref is.
Okay.
Yeah, the ref is.
Because I'm not counting
We're
it.
not.
I promise you, I'm not counting from the seats that I'm
No.
over there. I'm a little preoccupied doing a lot of
Yeah.
other things.
Okay, so the key and the paint, it's all the same thing.
100%.
And it
3
is that
seconds.
area that's a different color. Got it. Thank you. Okay,
problem.
perfect. Next question is, what does it mean to press? And you actually did say that. You were talking about strategy and you said something about pressing.
You did.
You did.
Dun,
And I'm
dun,
like, perfect, because it's a rapid fire question. So what does that mean to press?
So defensively, you'll press the team. You're just trying to create turnovers and havoc. You're trying to take them out of their rhythms, move the ball out of their best ball handlers' hands if you can. Typically, you're just looking to aggravate them and make them have to work.
I love the expression to cause havoc.
That's pretty much what it is, right?
But
We're
that's
trying to
what it is.
increase the pace of the game or slow the pace of the game down. Because there's man-to-man presses and there's zone presses.
Oh, my gosh.
We need a whole nother episode on basketball.
Basketball part 2. Okay, so what's a charge and how is it a foul?
Okay, so charges have been tough this year. Ideally, what happens in a charge is your defensive player is in position, both feet planted, chest square to the offensive player before they gather the ball. You can cross, you don't have to. You just have to be positionally set. If he runs into you and doesn't even have to knock down. If he runs into you and creates contact where he's out of control, it's deemed a charge. However, if you move your feet as that player, it now becomes a block.
Yeah, you
Which
can't.
is a football.
So vision this. So there's a boulder rolling down a hill, and you slide in front of it, and you get squashed. That's a defensive foul.
So it's the boulder's fault.
Correct. I think of it.
No?
I try to explain
Yeah.
it this way.
No. If you slide in front of it and you get squashed, that's usually because you were late getting
You
there.
weren't early.
Right?
I try to think of it this way. So it's like a car accident. If you're sitting at a stop and somebody rear ends you,
Okay, yes.
you were at a complete stop. You had no
Yes,
control.
that's
Has
a better
nothing to
one.
do with you.
Yeah.
They hit you. They were out of control. That would then be considered like a charge. If you were making a right-hand turn, you seen a car coming, you thought maybe I have enough time to get in front of it, and you wheeled out. You didn't have the traction. They clip you. Well, that's your fault. So that would be the block.
Yeah, so if you're standing there when the boulder was rolled down the hill and it hit you, that's a charge.
Okay.
Because you've already
So-
established that position as yours.
Okay, so players intentionally stand in the way to get run into.
I would love
Yeah,
to see
that earns you a
yes.
chocolate bar in the senior boys.
You know what?
square
I've
basketball
watched
team.
some NBA Raptors games. Get ready for this. Kyle Lowry is
Lowry
good at a
was
charge,
very
right?
good.
Very good.
Very, very.
Listeners, you just saw me slam my pen. My hands went up. I'm like, I'm having a moment. I am having a moment. Okay. Okay, so you do it intentionally and you hope you don't get in trouble for it. And you don't get in trouble if you keep your feet
Planted.
planted,
As long as you're there early enough.
as long as you're there early enough.
So there's timing.
Yeah, you have to be established in that area
Got it.
before
Like this is
You're
my
claiming
space.
that space.
100%.
before the
he
player
gathers the
picks
ball.
the ball up to start as 1-2 steps. If you guys knew how to do a layup, you'd understand that.
Coming soon.
Stay tuned, listeners.
That was some
Stay
foreshadowing.
tuned.
Exactly.
Whew. We're getting there, Kelly.
Yeah,
like
we're-
we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, hit him with another one.
What does it mean to have a foul to give?
Do you do that in high school? That's from my NBA
Yeah,
watching the Raptors.
yeah.
But I don't understand. What do you mean you have a foul to give? Hi, take a foul. It's all yours. No, I don't,
don't want
understand. We don't want it.
So it's really like NBA and high school basketball and international basketball, they all have different sets of rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if we just think about this in terms of the high school context, we play, do we play quarters?
We play quarters.
Yeah, we play quarters, right?
Yeah.
So 8
8
minutes.
minutes of
Also
time.
didn't know.
And within that 8 minutes, if you get 5 fouls,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's your total amount of fouls. And the other team, every foul after that, and those fouls have to occur on the floor, they're not the shooting foul kind.
Yep.
So like if you're reaching in and you try and steal the ball
Mm-hmm.
and you bump the guy, that's a foul that contributes to that 5. Once you've reached the 5, every time that happens after, you shoot 2 foul shots.
Okay.
So the
Right?
team goes to a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now when they say we have a foul to give, so at the end of the game, if it's really close and you want to foul somebody to put them on the line so you get the ball back, that's the foul to give context. So you have 4 fouls and you want to get that 5th foul so that next time you foul, the guy will go to the line.
Okay. And
In
then
order
how
to
does
get the ball
somebody
back.
foul out?
You get 5 of your own fouls. So the team gets 5 fouls, and then you get 5 personal fouls as well. So once you get your 5th foul, you come sit down on the bench, and coach will stare at you for a few minutes wondering what happened. Because generally speaking, there's 1 or 2 that you probably shouldn't have picked up.
And then once you've got those, can you play? Are you just out for that quarter, or now are you out for the whole game?
You're done for that game.
For that game.
Yeah, 5
okay,
fouls
so 5 is the
per
limit.
game per player.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have fouled
It's
out.
a lot of fouls.
The only exception to that would be if you got 2 technicals. Now you're out for your current game and your next game.
But what's a technical?
Usually those are a little
Unsporting
beyond,
fouls.
You
Yeah,
have to really be getting into it, and probably
Like-
a lot of not so good words,
Oh, okay.
choice
Okay.
words involved.
Inappropriate behavior on the court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
Perfect.
recommended.
Not basketball plays.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one last foul shot question. What determines why somebody may just get 1 foul shot? Why might they get 2 foul shots? But even sometimes players get 3 foul shots.
Well, so for the single foul shot, if I was going up to make my layup and I got fouled in the process of making my layup, but my shot does go through the basket, I do get my 2 points. I'm awarded 1 more bonus shot.
That's called an and one.
And 1.
and one.
Very good. So I would get
Yeah.
rewarded that 1 more shot, or the and 1. If I was shooting that shot and I didn't make my basket, it was an unsuccessful attempt, but I was fouled in the process of shooting, I would go to the line for 2. Unless I was behind the 3-point line where I got fouled. In that case, I would have been shooting a 3-point shot. Therefore, I'm entitled to 3 free throws.
Okay, again, listeners, we should be televised because Raquel and Kelly, like our faces,
Mic drop.
like mic drop, our faces just like, wow. Oh my God, now I get it. Thank you, George. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. For years, it's just random to me. Like, why is
I
there
was like,
1 shot or 2 shot or
Is there
3?
just not enough time?
I'm
They're
not gonna
just,
lie to you.
I don't know.
Sometimes in the season, they're random to me too.
Okay, good.
No offense, refs. I'm sorry. I take that back, kind of.
We love our refs.
Okay.
Want to do stump the coach?
Okay, yeah, stump the coach, and then we're going to finish up our coaches segment.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I did Google these. Just so you know.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Wait, get your phone out.
Yeah. You can have mine. It's already in the history. Okay, when basketball was first invented, what ball was used and what color was it?
Well,
It was leather.
Yeah, I would say leather, so brown.
Yeah.
And something about a peach basket. Hugh, you played for that league, didn't you?
Yeah. I thought it was an apples basket. No, I don't know what kind of basket it was.
It was a soccer ball.
Soccer ball.
It was a soccer ball, and it was tied up with leather, and it kept getting caught on the rim, so they had to take the leather off and make it just into a soccer
Interesting.
ball.
Interesting.
So,
Did not know that.
Yeah, I would have Googled that also.
yeah. Okay, what are the 5 positions in basketball?
Oh, see, that's an interesting question because it used to be
Changed a
that
bit.
there was 5 positions, but there's a big movement towards positionless basketball. So you see,
It's a new term.
well, it is pretty much.
Yeah.
Positionless means like we used to have what we'd call a center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards.
Yeah, so shooting guard, a point guard, power forward, center, and I am
A small forward.
small forward. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
stumped Raquel because I had no idea about any of that.
Yeah, well, you notice like there's guys like now that play that are 6'7",
The
Yeah.
bigs.
and they're not big anymore. They're
playing
guards.
outside, yeah.
Yeah, they're guards. Yeah.
I love when they talk about the bigs. Bigs on the NBA. They
talls
talk
and the
about the
smalls.
bigs. Yeah. All right, coaches. Truly, 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 thank you so much for giving up some time to talk to us, for teaching us, for I don't even know. Like, yeah.
We can't thank you enough.
We
We,
can't
really
really
can't.
thank you enough. This has been wonderful, and we have honestly learned some things. Like, it's going to be a little bit different now at the next game.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking for some really pointed cheering.
Okay.
Other than just my random go
Okay.
Steelhawks,
That's right.
because I don't know what else
Exactly.
to say.
Go Blue.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
3
And
seconds in the key, ref. Oh, that's what I want to hear.
Plant those feet.
Yeah, yeah.
am I?
That was not a charge.
Don't you know the rule?
Who am I? Maybe I'll get kicked out of the game.
Fouls to Raquel.
Foul to Raquel. Tell her to be quiet.
You can get a
No,
technical
but
foul.
That's a
sincerely-
technical foul.
Yeah, you can
I
get
did
kicked
learn
out.
That's
something.
right.
Yeah.
But sincerely, thank you very
Yes.
much for giving us some time, teaching us, showing us grace in our own ignorance of the game. But we've learned a lot. And also, I imagine our local schmucks don't say thank you enough to their coaches.
Yeah.
So we're going to say it.
We know
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for the time you give to these kids, the time that you guys have given for years and
Yes.
years. We appreciate it. We really do. And I know that they do, and I know they probably don't say it enough, but bless their
Or at all.
schmucky hearts, right?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us. I really do appreciate letting us have an opportunity to voice our knowledge.
Wonderful.
So much fun. Thanks,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
And for the second half of our basketball show, we are very, very excited to have 2 student athletes here with us. We have Grace Agwa and Nick Ludin. And we're going to ask them to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their current sport and their history with the sport. Grace?
Hi, I'm currently a student at St. Mary's College. I'm in grade 11, and I'm one of their post players on their senior teams. When I was younger, I used to play like small ball,
Yay, small ball.
YBC, 705. But currently, like last summer, I played in Halifax for the Indigenous team, Ontario.
Wow.
It was pretty fun, honestly, like going somewhere else and playing.
That's
against-
wonderful.
Yeah, it was honestly, I enjoyed myself a lot, even though my team didn't do very well, but it was still like a very, very fun experience.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting.
All right, Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick Ludit. I'm a student and athlete at White Pines. I think I started playing basketball a little later than others because first I played like soccer, and I don't know why, but my mom signed me up for tap dancing. So I did that for like when I was like 3 or 4.
But I love tap dancing. That's so fun.
But I got into it actually kind of late. I started playing maybe grade 5, grade 6, around that time doing like 705, and then later on after that I did Steel City Slam. And then ever since then I've just been playing with Slam. I did it last summer. We went to like Toronto, we went to Brampton doing all these like NPH showcase like seasons, basically what it is. And it's just playing basketball like multiple like teams in like Canada. And it was pretty fun, you know, and if it starts up again, I'd love to do that again.
Both of you have had really great experiences outside of Sault Ste. Marie. So when you've gone and played teams that are not local, any differences in how they play that you noticed compared to playing like our local teams? Either one of you can choose to answer that.
I can go. I think when you play other teams not from your city or from like your area, you see how much talent other teams have and where each talent comes from different places, because it's like you're not used to versing people from so far away compared to people you normally verse, because it's like you're used to how they play, you're used to how they coach and all that. But once you go against other teams, you're kind of like, damn, you can really see the difference on like your perspective of their things.
That's a really
And
good
how many
point.
teams were at the event that you went to in Halifax?
Every province had a team and territory. So all over the place there was teams. And like the next one's in BC, so they're hosting it. But like there was multiple sports like swimming, hockey, golf,
Oh, wow.
and the list just goes on.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll go out to BC?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, I'm 100% going.
Oh,
I love it.
If you can see the grin on her face, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And Nick, you've also played a lot of teams that are not from Sault Ste. Marie. What do you find the differences?
Differences for playing against guys out of the Sioux. I agree with Grace for sure, because growing up playing with the same people, you know, you kind of understand like maybe how they play, how like the height difference between, you know, you go against a team maybe in like Ottawa, you have some 14-year-old who's 6'8", and it's like you walk up to him like, are you actually like 15, 16?
Yeah, you're at the right game.
But no, I agree with Grace, and I think for me, I like playing against like teams and cities I like aren't from the Sioux, because like I like going into the game not knowing like how they play, what they can do, and I like how they can show me, rather than like me going against a team from the Sioux and like knowing like what they're good at, what they're not good at. I kind of like just like going off from the ball, because they also don't know like much about me, because then maybe, hey, they don't know if I'm like can shoot, I can like drive really good. They don't know that, so like they just figure that out like during the game.
Can I add something to
Yeah,
that?
of course.
And like, I feel like when you verse teams from not where you're from, you kind of learn your weaknesses. Because when you verse teams that you verse all the time, it just gets repetitive and like same thing each time. But when you go against someone else you've never played against, you see what you need to work on most. Because I remember when I played Junior Thunderbirds, we'd go to America and play basketball. And their basketball is
different.
so different.
Yeah.
And like you could see the amount of skill level that was different compared to our team to theirs. And like it's like the same age group too, but it's like you could tell how much more work that they put in than what you do. And it makes you realize a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, good
There,
point.
I find that when I've seen my son, when he's gone to competitions in Michigan, the American teams play a little bit more aggressive ball
Yeah.
than
Yep.
we do. And I don't mean aggressive like in a mean way, but I just mean like taking control. They seem to always have control of the ball, and we seem to be very nice about it.
And I feel like the pace is different. I feel
Yeah.
like it's faster.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I know for sure. First trip down in the summertime for Slam last summer. Going into the game, you know, I was feeling pretty good, because like I had a pretty good season last year in junior, and I was like, okay, you know, like I'm kind of like top dog in like the Sioux for like the junior loop. Like, hey, what the heck, might as well like, you know, show some people what I can do. And then I remember I did not have the best game. I was like, hey, you know, I see what I got to work on. I see like maybe I'm a good like dribbler in the Sioux, but not so much in like wherever else in Toronto. So that for sure like made me realize, and like it made me just like think like, hey, put that extra work in and like get better. So like when you do these like trips again, see how much you can improve.
Absolutely. I think that's a great
perfect.
attitude to
Yeah.
have. All right, Kelly, hit him with a question.
It doesn't matter who answers this. I'm just going to throw it out there. What does training look like at the high school level?
I could say during season, like we practice every single day for like 2 hours maybe. But off season for me, I normally weight train, and like I have one-on-one sessions with a coach from Algoma.
Okay.
Like Coach Clay, he's really good. He's been my junior Thunderbirds coach my whole life.
He
Okay.
taught
Well,
our
kind of.
boys. Yeah,
Yeah.
he taught our boys in
Thunderbirds,
Junior
yeah.
Thunderbirds. Clay is awesome. Shout out to Clay if he's listening.
Oh yeah, Ryan too. He's really
And Ryan,
good.
all of the varsity crew there.
No, I do one-on-one training with Coach Clay, and I really like it honestly because he's like a guy that understands
Okay.
and knows that what you need to work on. Because like each summer, we pick a different topic to work on. Like one summer
Okay.
it was my physicality, my toughness, and one summer it was like my post moves, my shooting form, and all that. So it's kind of like interesting having someone else's point of view on what you need to fix, what you need to train on, compared to what your high school coach tells you.
Okay. So it's more of a personal level for
Yeah.
you with him. Yeah.
And I really enjoy it because it's like having someone like that's there that knows what specifically you need to work on instead of what a group needs to work on is honestly really nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. So Nick, then why don't you take this question and talk about what do you do in training a little bit more every week? Because you guys spend a lot of hours practicing for basketball.
Right.
So what are some of the things you're doing in those hours?
Well, for during school like season, it's 5 days a week, and then sometimes like on like Christmas break, on little breaks like that, you do like sometimes like you go into the school to open up for a few hours just to get shots up and like, you know, shoot better. But basically For the training, just during the school season, it's, go in there, you stretch out, and then maybe at the start of the season, it's like more fundamental stuff, and then during like the later of the season, it's maybe either plays or like more like personal, which you need to get better on. But I would say for sure later in the season, it's working on you're soloing and like you're picking the team. Like, hey, we're gonna probably like go up against this team. We have to work around and like find maybe their strengths and weaknesses and like see what like care is good for us to like how we can play better against them.
Okay, that actually makes me think of another question. Do you guys watch video of yourselves playing games and then pick it apart? Like, and analyze it? Like, we can do better at this? Like, what do you do when you watch the video?
I mean, sometimes I don't really watch the video because I don't have time and I go home and go to bed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but sometimes with my team, we sit down together after practice or before practice and pick apart what we do wrong. Not essentially do wrong, but like what we need to work on and like what we need to, like what we did good, how we need to fix this, what we need to do next time. It's not really like saying, oh, you did bad at this, you did bad at that. It's just kind of just being like, hey, little heads up on this next time.
Okay. Is it part of practice to watch tape?
I feel like sometimes we normally did it around like the championship and everything, and like league and all that. Not really during the season because I don't know why, but I feel like we kind of need to do that a little more.
Okay. What about you, Nick, and your team? Do you watch it regularly?
As a team, like Ray said, like later in the season, you for sure like watch and like kind of scout out players, be like, okay, so and so can do this, but make sure like maybe force him left more to his offhand, like his weaker hand, and then he like can't get to the basket. But for me personally, I always like watching film, like any TruHous video of like Pines. Any TruHous video of like Pines, I love watching, and just for like me like also, but I like watching just see what I need to do better on. Like maybe I watch back, I'm like, oh, I should have cut there, or hey, maybe I should have ran like faster when it was like a fast break. But I for sure watch film because that's just me, because I like seeing also like scouting out the teams, like what they do. So if TruHous has like a video of like Superior and Cora, and then I play Cora next week, I'm for sure watching that like tape to see like what the Cora players can do.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're watching it for two things, really, right?
Yeah.
You're watching it for your own self, right? Like, where am I maybe a little weak? What do I need to work on?
Yeah.
And then you're watching it from the perspective of, let's see what the other team's bringing to the court. Do they have a weakness that we can see? Okay,
Yeah.
Look at me learning all these things. Thanks.
There's a question that I want to ask, and I'm hoping you'll both answer it, but I just jotted it down right now. How do you think the starters on your teams are picked? Like, how do you think the coach, like, what are they looking for? What do you guys think? Because that was a question we asked the coaches. So I'm curious, perspective-wise, how do you guys think the starters are chosen on your teams?
I think all of it isn't based off of skill.
Okay.
Because I think for some people on the basketball court, they may not have a lot of skill, but they have a lot of, another thing, like a lot of communication, a lot of directing and all that. Like, it's not just skill for a basketball team. That's not all you need. Yeah, you do need skill in some parts, but others you need more than just that. Because, yeah, it's good to have people with skill on your team, but there's a lot more to it than...
So the leadership, the communicating with your teammates, the what, okay.
Because, yeah, I don't know, I keep on repeating that, but yeah, skill's like really, really important. But having someone on the court that can direct you when you're doing something wrong or did something wrong, or that can help you during a game is really important, because sometimes you lose yourself and you start getting in your head and you're like, damn, I keep on doing this wrong. I don't know how to do it. I can't fix this. But then there's always that one person that's like, hey, calm down, breathe a little
So
bit.
someone who's seeing it outside of you.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
like that. Yeah.
Nick, anything to add to that?
I do agree. I agree with Grace completely. Like, it's definitely not all about skill. Because, like, sure, you need skill, you know, for, like, your starting five, your strongest five. But it goes to where, like, they're not so good at basketball, but they have, like, a lot of hustle. And, like, anything, like, a loose ball on the ground, so, like, a ball's rolling on the ground, about to go out, they'll dive on that ball and, like, try and throw it back in.
I love hustle. I love it when I see people hustling out there.
Coaches go crazy for that.
Coaches love it.
Coaches love it.
Go crazy for that. And
Yeah.
Just not even like just offensively, like getting it in the basket and scoring. It's just like more about like being a team player. Like again, like what Grace said. But if you're getting in your own head, like just having that one positive person being like, hey, like keep shooting. You know, keep doing this, keep doing that. Like don't worry about it. You're gonna make the next shot. Like that really helps me. And yeah, no, it just helps me a lot because there'll be times where like there's a bad shooting night or whatever it is, but just that one person like keeping like the team positive, that like it goes a long way.
I agree 100%.
100%.
And
Yeah.
like, I think there's always a person on your team that has more heart for the game than anyone else. And I think you really do need that because coaches love that too. When some player shows that, hey, I really love this sport and I'll do anything to be on that starting five. And I think you really need that because it shows you how much more like you need to give and need to work on to be that starting five.
And do you think once you're a starter, you're always a starter?
No, 100% no.
Okay.
You can, it honestly, I don't really think it depends on how you play. It depends on your coach.
Okay.
Because you could have the greatest game of your life, but next game you don't start. And I don't think it has anything to do with you. It just has it's your coach's opinion. You don't really have any control of who starts, who doesn't. Because like some games we'd have, these 5 players start every single game. Then some games our coach would switch it up and be like, hey, this person would go on. It's not, I don't think it's fair to have the same 5 people start too. I feel like that really brings some people down too.
Fair
So
enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
like, they don't understand that it's not your fault that you're not starting, and it's not the people's fault that they're starting.
Right.
It's your coaches. I don't want to say it's their fault actually.
Right. It's not
I
really
think it's
anyone's
a fault.
No, it's their choice.
It's their decision.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you really want to be that starting 5, one of those starting 5s, then you need to work more for it.
Perfect.
Right, and put in the hustle, right?
Yeah.
And the energy and
So
the
it's earned.
enthusiasm. And
Yes,
earn it.
It's earned. Is that fair to say, guys?
I can add one more like small thing
Sure.
Yeah.
for sure, but you're definitely not like if you're a starter one game, you can lose that spot like instantly. If you're like really good at basketball, but like hey, you miss like a week of practice because you don't
Yes.
want to.
Yes.
It's all about work ethic, and
Yeah.
Yes.
you can be the best player in the gym, but like still not come and like coaches see that they're like he's not like committed to the team,
Right.
you know. But it's for sure like it's definitely earned. It's like nothing's
Yes.
like given to you.
That's a great point.
That is a good point.
I'm going to ask a question because both of you were sort of talking about those moments on the court when you get in your head. Because maybe you missed a few shots, right? Maybe a play didn't go the way it was supposed to. Look at me talking like I know what I'm doing, right? I'm kind of proud of myself because I'm learning. Anyway, but everyone, you have those moments. Every athlete in every sport has those moments, right? Things have just not gone on very well. So it's awesome when you have somebody that can see it and can be like, it's okay, right? But what do you do? What do you do for your own self if you've missed a few shots? How do you prevent yourself from getting into that sort of bad headspace? Or if you feel like you're getting there, what do you do to get yourself back out of it?
For me, I just like to think to myself, I've shot like a basketball so many times to where like anywhere on the court, like I've shot it so many times to be like, you know what, like, you know you can shoot, like, you know you can like shoot wherever, like, don't matter because it's going to fall. The next one's going to fall. And like, even if it doesn't fall, it's honestly worse to like stop shooting rather than like just be scared to shoot the ball. Because then that could even hurt your team.
Right.
Yeah.
And isn't there a saying from an athlete that says you only miss the shots you don't take?
Yeah.
Something.
I don't know what
You miss
athlete?
100% of the
Yeah,
shots
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
Or
take.
something, right?
That's
Okay, it was Wayne
Gretzky?
Gretzky.
Hockey?
That's all.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other episode.
Next
But the
time.
premise is still solid,
Same
right?
thing, same thing.
Right. So it's you just reminding yourself, hey, it's okay. You know what you're doing. It's
Exactly.
going to come back. Just keep trying.
Yeah.
Good.
100%.
What about you, Grace?
I think like when you miss a shot, when you miss a pass, when you miss a move, like I try not to get down about it. Sometimes I do. It's reasonable. Everyone does.
Yeah.
But you also have to think is that you're gonna have 10 more times out trying to do that same thing, and each time you do it better than you did the last time.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's like, honestly, you can't really. I try not to get down about myself. Sometimes I do, you know, but I feel like the more confident you are when you play is the better you play. Because once your confidence is down, then you're like, dang, I can't shoot, I can't score, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, damn, I suck. But it's like, no, you don't. It's just, you're talking bad about yourself. You're bringing your confidence down. You don't need to do that. You're like, nobody needs that.
I like that.
I like that. And I think what's interesting about the both of you, and it's probably why you were such great athletes, is that you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
You're not confident based on nothing.
Exactly.
You're confident based on you're in the gym. You're playing this sport all year round if you can, right? You're at your practices. You're working with clay. Like, you are putting in the work. You have a right to be confident in your ability. So good on the two of you.
Thank you.
Should I ask another question?
Oh, absolutely.
What is your least favorite drill? Out of those 5 days a week, you're in the gym for 2 hours with your coach, and they say, okay, now we're doing this.
I feel like it's, what is your least favorite drill and why is it suicides?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But for real.
Honestly, I can add on that. Even though I am a basketball player, I don't like running at all.
Okay.
That's one thing I will refuse to. Like, hey, let's go on a run. I don't
Not
really
for
think
fun,
so. Thank you. But I'll run when I have to. But any drill that consists of like a lot of running is like something I'm like, oh my God, I'll do it because I have to. But personally, I wouldn't do it myself.
Right.
It's not your choice.
Not your
No.
choice.
What about you, Nick?
I'd say just like, especially because usually like your coach will make you run after practice, like when you're dead, like maybe you just got doing like a really hard drill that like consisted of like just running in general, and then he's like, okay, baseline, suicides now. So I would say either suicides or what my coach does at Pines. At the end of every practice, he gets us to shoot like free throws.
Oh yeah.
Miss a free throw,
You gotta run.
suicide.
Oh.
So that just adds on, and especially because you're tired, it's like, he always says like that, it's like being in that fourth quarter, you know, you gotta still be able to hit those shots, which, you know, like it definitely helps for sure, but man, like if the team isn't shooting good and you've missed like 7 shots, 8 shots, that's a lot of suicides.
Oh yeah.
That gasses you.
One thing my team doesn't do though, we don't do suicides. We do walls. So it's where you go
Someone
there.
tell me what that is.
Okay, so you're on the baseline and you run to the other side and you run back. That's one wall.
Oh, okay.
So you got like sometimes we get like 10 walls. It's pretty bad. So you gotta run there, back 10 times. Actually,
think I
no,
could
20
do one.
times.
Wow.
No, it's bad. It gets bad sometimes. But honestly, it's worth it in the end because like I don't know. You're just
Well,
conditioned.
you do need to run in basketball.
Yeah, you're conditioned.
I mean, you just can't get away from that, right? And speed does help on the court, right? So I get why the coaches are making you do it, but I 100% get why you don't like it.
Oh yeah.
Not a runner.
Not a
Yeah.
runner at all.
And I think a lot of ball players would say they're not
I think
runners.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Interesting. You just want to shoot,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Just want to shoot the ball. Okay, Kelly has another question for you.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What are you likely to be called out on by a ref?
I wish everyone could see their faces.
I do too.
Because they both have something.
Everybody's got something to
Is it
say.
as simple as traveling? Is it, like, what is it? If
Foul.
what kind of foul?
I have 2 things.
Okay.
I think one would be 3 seconds in the paint.
Oh, and I know what that means.
Yeah, you
do. I know what that means.
Sometimes I kind of forget about it, like, because I'm like too focused,
Of
or
course.
like this, and I'm like, oh dang, and I'm like, and I get called in, and I'm like, oh crap, like,
Yeah.
oh my god. And I think the other one is not keeping my hands up sometimes. Like when you go up to the person, right, and they're driving with the ball, and like you put your hands up, so like you kind of, they get the foul and you don't. And then sometimes I just kind of like put my hands down and I don't really mean to, and I get called on it. And sometimes I'm like, what? I didn't do anything. And I actually kind of did. But,
Do you ever talk back?
no, I try not to.
Okay. I don't know what that means when you say put your hands down.
Like, so you put your hands up, like straight up, right?
Right.
And say like you bring them down on the person.
Oh, okay.
That's a foul, or like you put your hand up, touch their hand, it's a foul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything like that.
Okay. I get it.
And
Okay.
like you can't really like, I don't think, you can't really run into them, can you? That's foul too.
No, you could run into them. I don't know, it's hard. Sometimes some like refs have like different things on it, whether
Yeah.
it's like just jumping up straight up or not being able to reach over them.
Or
But
if you jump into them too.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There is
really
a lot,
picky.
which is
Yeah.
why we don't understand what's happening all the time, and it would take 4 episodes for us to actually learn all of this. Nick, is there anything that, if you're going to be called out by a ref, anything?
honestly, like, not really by ref, maybe like the odd travel, like just forgetting to put
Yep.
the ball down first. But for sure, like coaches, sometimes it happens to me. I don't want to admit it, but like where you ball watch. So like say you're at the bottom, right, and you're on defense, and you're watching the guy at the top of the ball, and that guy can just run right behind you, and you're not able to see him, and then easy pass, and then you can have like a little layup. So ball watching for sure, and then they just cut
Okay.
behind you fast, and then you're like, dang it, I did not mean to watch the ball for that one.
Okay, fair enough. So before we wrap this up, and this maybe is a question Grace wants to answer more, but I'm just wondering, is there a difference in how boys and girls play the game of basketball or how they train for the game?
I think 100%. There's a big difference in boys and girls sports, 100%.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows, like, men are bigger, stronger, taller than women, and that, honestly, and, like, you see it, too, and, like, when women and, like, men play each other in, like, certain games and everything, you could see the big difference. But, honestly, I wouldn't really, I don't know how to explain it. I would say that woman could probably beat a man any day, though.
Oh,
And
I'm
here
not
we
upset
are.
by that statement.
But I'm not trying to be like that. But it's like, I feel like if a girl really wanted to beat a man in a sport, she could 100%. She could train any day. She could do whatever like she wants to up to that moment. And I feel like she could if she had enough confidence and everything.
You are a wonderful feminist, Grace Engel.
Like, I don't mean to be rude. Like, a man can beat a woman like in a sport, but I feel like if that girl had drive to do
Yeah.
it, she 100% could.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Have you ever sat back and watched the boys practice, or have you watched the girls practice?
Just to see, is there a difference?
Do you feel like there's
I
more
don't-
effort, less effort,
No.
or the drill's the same? Like,
Honestly, I feel like the drills are the same a little
Yeah.
bit, but I feel like one of the big differences in basketball is that men tend to dunk a lot more than women. So,
Okay.
and that's one of
Fair
the big
enough.
differences I see.
The
'cause-
odd time.
Yeah, the odd time. The odd time. But no, I don't really see a difference.
Okay.
But I also think it depends on the coach that you have, because they might run different drills, different
Right.
plays. And
True,
everything.
every coach is going to do it a little bit differently, right? Okay, so we really need to wrap this up. We could have talked for so much longer. Thank you to both of you. I'm wondering if I can get both of you to end with a shout out to someone who has supported you in your sport.
Oh.
That can be anybody that you choose. But I think it's just a nice positive way to end our segment.
Oh yeah. You want to go first?
I'll go second.
Oh, okay.
That was a very confident
Oh yeah. I've already mentioned him, my coach Clay.
Clay.
Absolutely.
I'd love to shout out him.
Yes.
He's honestly, I think he's one of the, I don't know how, kind of lost my word in that. He's a person I know that really puts a lot of effort into me and time, and I appreciate that like a lot.
Yep.
Because normally a lot of people don't, when you ask to work out with someone or to get trained someone, they're normally like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But see, Clay pushes me to my hardest. He knows what I'm capable of, and he will make sure that I show him, I show myself, I show everyone that I'm capable of doing what I can. And that's one of the greatest things.
That's fantastic.
Shout out to Clay.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. I
and
love
we did
him.
know Clay because Clay taught our boys in Junior Thunderbirds a long time ago. And Clay is a fantastic coach.
He's a wonderful person.
That was really well said, Grace. Thank you.
Nice.
Nick, do you have a shout out for someone who's supported you on your path in sports?
I've had a few coaches, and all of them honestly, really great coaches. But I think my shout out would probably go to my mom and my grandma.
Aww.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. They come to like all my games. Drive to practices, whether it's like 8 a.m. to maybe some practices 10 p.m.
Yep.
And staying out that late, coming to pick me up wherever it is, some downtown, some at Pines. But they always my biggest fans. But for sure my grandma and my mom.
Is that your grandma Susan?
Susan, yeah.
Mom and Grandma, we appreciate you.
We love moms and grandmas.
She has this sweater, and it's like this orange sweater she got like a while ago that says Nick's grandma on it.
Oh, I'm going to watch for that.
You'll
I might
see
need
it.
a picture with her.
Yeah.
You guys need sweaters like that.
We need sweaters. I need one that says Max's mom.
She wears it to every game, whether it's football, basketball.
We're watching for her.
volleyball. Go see her.
Grandma Susan.
Orange sweater, Nick's grandma on it.
That's fantastic.
Wears it to every sports game I go to, and I play in that night.
We're going to find her, and
Yeah.
we're going to get a picture with her.
You'll see her.
Well, I can't wait.
We'll
I
see
can't
her.
wait.
Yeah. We have to finish with saying huge thank you to both of you. Thank you for giving us some of your time today. We
Thanks for the
really appreciated it. You guys did
Honestly,
a fantastic
I enjoyed
job.
it. I enjoyed
We
it a
are
lot.
forever grateful for you guys being on our first show.
Yeah, you were really
Yeah.
articulate and gave us thoughtful answers, and we have no doubt how dedicated both of you are to the sport of basketball. And I know you're a multi-sport athlete, Nick. You got lots of sports on the go. Do you play other sports too, Grace?
I used to, but I feel like
Okay.
basketball's just
Just
like
basketball for
my
now,
main
but yeah.
focus.
But we really, really appreciated you guys giving us some of your time and sharing your thoughts. And I hope that you guys had fun.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
And
for
we've
sure.
learned even more. So now
thank
you're gonna see us cheering at the games, and we're gonna actually know what we're talking
For
about.
the right reasons.
So thank you.
Oh, yeah.
you.
If you guys
Yeah.
ever want me to come back, I will.
Oh,
repeat guest.
Repeat guest.
Thank you, Grace.
Honestly, that's fantastic.
Thank you very much, guys. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
We do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
Kelly, we did it!
Our first show.
Our first show. I learned a lot about basketball.
Quite a bit. 3 seconds in the paint.
1 foul shot, 2 foul shot, 3 foul shot. Like, that makes total sense to me.
A lot of things they said. We learned.
We did learn. Do we need 7 more episodes to actually really learn the ins and outs? We do. But
100%.
Yeah, to get a basic, I think we did pretty well. And I'm really pleased with how things turned out.
It was a lot of fun. Again, thank you so much to Hugh Hyam and George Shackleton, who give so much of their time and their energy to the boys and the girls of the sport, and to us tonight for coming and joining us. I couldn't have asked for 2 better people to come on.
Oh, we're eternally grateful to them. And then a big thanks to Nick Ludit and Grace Agawa. I thought they did a wonderful job. They were very articulate. They are great kids, great athletes. Our city is lucky to have them. And I thought they did an absolutely wonderful job with us tonight. And we have to end with a big thanks to TruHous Sports for taking a chance on the Raquel and Kelly Sports Talk and Questions show, which probably should be called Raquel and Kelly Know Nothing About Sports, but we're learning. I know we're not the usual demographic that TruHous Sports has, so we're really grateful that they're taking a chance on us. And just remember, everybody, be scared and do it anyways. Thanks so much for joining in.